Coming up today on Houston Life, they're together in marriage and music. Meet the husband and wife Americana duo getting ready to conquer Houston fans with their beautiful harmonies.
Plus, are crossed arms rude? The body language signals you could be unintentionally sending.
And it's a new late night talk show for the whole family. We're talking to Brian Henson, the son of legendary Jim Henson, and the co-host of Earth to Ned on Disney+.
And a female business owner who got creative during the pandemic by turning a bus into a mobile hair salon. Pretty cool. All that and more happening today on Houston Life.
Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to Houston Life. It is July 5th. I'm Derek Shore.
And I'm Courtney Savala. Good to have you here on this Monday. How was the holiday yesterday?
It was nice. July 4th always reminds me of being a kid.
Yes.
Because my mom is such a patriot. I mean, red, white, and blue, the whole house. So it always reminds me of a bit of nostalgia.
I know. Popsicles, burgers, hot dogs, grilling out, good stuff. Always brings me a little bit like, ooh, summer's coming to a close. I know I shouldn't think that way, but here's the thing, y'all. Connor goes back to school August 12th.
Wait, that's so early.
I know.
When I was a kid, I swear we didn't go back until after Labor Day.
I know.
And anytime they would start playing the back-to-school commercials, like, come to shop.
You'd run and hide.
Get your notebooks. Oh, it gave me, like, anxiety.
I know. So unfortunately, Connor's in sort of a countdown mode because he knows his summer's almost over.
No, there is still plenty of summer to enjoy, everyone. Do not panic.
Boy, I know. Well, and one thing that we are counting down to, of course,
the Olympics.
Yes, and so this is actually really funny. There are some Olympic questions that many of us are just too afraid to ask. Do you ever think about this? Keep you up late at night? It does for me.
Like what questions?
The Today Show, I'm glad you asked. The Today Show compiled an article of some of the common questions we all might have when watching the Olympics. And here's a few of them. Number one, do swimmers really shave their entire bodies?
Oh, well, yeah, right? Because
Yes.
of the drag that the hair.
Absolutely.
But why shave? Why not do laser hair removal?
Well, maybe
or waxing.
Maybe some do, but you know, they're hairless regardless, right?
It just seems, I mean, it takes a long time. So I've shaved my legs a couple times.
Okay.
Like literally twice in my life.
Well, I shave them all the time.
Doesn't it take forever?
It takes forever, and also for me, getting into water right after, or like chlorine, it can kind of be irritating.
Well, yeah, wouldn't it burn and give you like razor, like those
so
little
are they
bumps?
shaving right before the race? Like, what's happening? I feel like I have more questions.
I think laser hair removal is the way to go.
It is so the way.
And it's expensive, right? But you do it once. Well, you do it a series of times, right?
Yeah.
But then eventually you never have to do it again.
The pits, best thing I ever did. Wish I would have done it years ago. Apparently. They shave that too. Apparently some even their teammates help.
Each other?
Yeah.
Well,
if their back hair, maybe there's something happening.
Shaving is caring.
Yes.
Isn't that
Sometimes
the saying?
good shavers happen to good people. I don't know.
Okay.
Number two, this is one that's a burning question for so many people. How do gymnasts avoid wedgies?
Oh, yeah.
You're laughing. Oh,
Well,
yeah, the leotard wedgie.
Yeah, of course, because, and especially, they're out there doing a lot, you know, the splits and the jumps and the flips and all of that.
Yeah, and they're athletic, right? So,
I mean, I would think it would naturally a wedgie would naturally happen.
they're taking a play from, can we call pageant life? Sometimes spray. It's a spray. It's kind of like tough skin. It holds the leotard in place, so when you're moving,
Like the spray-on glue you use for art projects?
not that intense, but it's meant for skin.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
there you go. We're
Sounds kind of
answering the deep, dark
uncomfortable.
secrets here. Number three, how do synchronized swimmers keep their hair from moving? Without looking at the answer, I think I know this. Is it petroleum jelly? Is it?
Well, what about a wig? Don't they just all wear matching wigs?
No. No. We're both wrong. Knox gelatin. They mix it with water and brush it into their hair.
I'm gonna need
No.
a demonstration on this. Tomorrow
Listen.
on Houston Life.
Hey, listen,
Wow.
I think you and I could do like a synchro swim thing.
I don't
that would
think
be
we
fun.
could.
No?
Mm-mm. The Knox gelatin, I just can't
You're out on
imagine in my hair. Also, I mean, there is so much time and preparation. It's not just the, I mean, this makes me appreciate Olympians even more because it's not just about eating the right diet, training for months, you know, they have such a strict sleep, eat, training schedule.
Yes.
But then it's all about like the performance and looking good and keeping your
parts,
everything like
together,
taped up.
Yeah, it's difficult. I will tell you, if I'm on a run or I'm working out and something's kind of moving and it's not feeling right, it's a horrible workout for me. So, you know, if I have a hair that's blowing or the ponytail's not quite as tight as I need it to be, or you're wearing a bad sports bra, or the shorts are bad, it all kind of unravels.
Well, imagine doing that workout with literally hundreds of millions of people watching you live around the world.
Exactly.
Oh man.
So I need more questions like this because this is quite insightful. Just think when we're watching the Olympics with people, it'll be like, they don't get wedgies. You know why? They use tough skin. That hair on the synchronized, no, it's gelatin.
Eggs. Gelatin in the hair. Well, thank you. Where did you find this?
Oh, Today's Show. Today's Show,
my gosh,
you know, they are the best. So there you go.
Well, one of the headlines this year coming out of the Olympics is that no international spectators will be allowed at any of the venues.
Right.
Which is a major bummer. And as COVID, you know, there's still some hot spots with this Delta variant, right? I mean, COVID is definitely not over. Get vaccinated, people. But we are starting to think about, because we are vaccinated, at some point we will get on a plane and maybe go back overseas.
It'd be so nice.
Okay, well, how about this? Have you heard of a floating breakfast? Because if you're headed out on vacation, you just might find this on the menu.
So is this sort of like I'm in a pool and it comes to me? Is this like choo-choo sushi?
It could be, yes. Just like that, only different. You could be in a pool, you could be in a hot tub, you could be anywhere with water, right? So just like breakfast in bed, apparently during the pandemic, because more and more people were staying at home or staying, you know, in one spot, floating breakfasts became a thing. An upscale breakfast served in a pool or hot tub. The pandemic made them even more popular. And yes, you can find them at luxury resorts.
What about in my own home? Can that happen at home? Who's doing that?
I mean, I don't know. Are you typically in the pool at breakfast time?
No, but I can be.
Step one, get in the pool.
And see what happens. Just ring a bell and see what happens.
Ring a bell and hope for the best.
Please, floating breakfast anytime.
Look, it worked.
Hey, wow, I need
That's
that bell.
A muffin from yesterday's pool party.
I mean, that could be really fun. I bet they're really pretty.
But that is something that I bet they are really pretty. I mean, we have a bathtub at the house, right?
You do? You're fancy.
You don't have a bathtub?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We don't have a bathtub in our master, in our bathroom. I miss it, actually.
You know what? Bathtubs are kind of going away. It used to be that every bathroom in the home, like, oh, for resale value, you have to have a bathtub because, oh, the kids, they need to take baths. Fewer homes have bathtubs, right?
It kind of grosses me out thinking about it.
Oh, because you're sitting in your own dirty water.
Yeah, this just... you know, I'm sorry, I did a left turn there.
You could take a shower and then you could get in the bath.
Okay.
But imagine this, what if you had some sort of...
room service?
No, I was just realizing you couldn't just like put a tray in the water.
Float.
You would need like a small pool float, perhaps?
Perhaps.
One of those kickboards. And you could do your own like improvised breakfast in the bath.
I'm down for it.
Okay.
Are there certain things, like if this is only a vacation thing, clearly if this is not going to work at home, are there certain things that you do only on vacation?
Well, sometimes on vacation, especially if you're traveling internationally, money becomes sort of like monopoly money, just play money. And so when you go to buy things, it's like, well, that's 4,000 whatever, you know, pesos. What does that mean? And you try to do the translation in your brain. So we maybe spend a little bit more money when we're on vacation.
We usually do... It's sort of like the eating rules are like off, you know, off the table.
Like dietary restrictions?
Well, not even, we don't have dietary restrictions, but we just don't eat like as good, right? So on vacation, it's all like cheese in the can. I know.
Cheese in the can?
Yeah, like chicken and biscuit, crackers.
Oh, like on a road trip, maybe?
Yeah, you know, just like
so good.
One of my other friends, Rachel, she always hits a DG on vacation. Dollar General. So they go get like their Wonder Bread white bread that they never eat at home. You know, so they have like vacation. So I took a play from that book. I hit the DG in Branson, Missouri.
And you got the Wonder Bread?
Yeah, no, we went there for the cheese canned
The
cheese.
cheese can and the chicken biscuits.
Sold out.
You know, when we were kids, we were never allowed to eat Wonder Bread.
No.
Which was such a bummer because the package alone was so exciting, like the blue
Inviting.
and the red and the
Polka
yellow
dots.
dots. Do you remember the Wonder Bread? It was like, oh, magical bread. We couldn't have it. My mom instead, and now I appreciate this, we had a wheat grinder, and my mom would grind her own wheat.
That is amazing.
I was raised by the pioneer woman.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, good Mormon lady in Salt Lake City.
But listen, that's
kneading
good
the
bread.
dough and the bread. It was delicious bread, and I hated it.
You're like,
because
I don't want
I
this.
wanted the Wonder Bread.
No.
So what happened when I moved out on my own for the first time in California? I went shopping. I got some Wonder Bread. I got some slices of bologna.
Oh, yes, you did.
Some little American cheese and some mayo, and bam.
All things that you hate today.
It lasted for 3 days. And then I missed the wheat bread.
Right, you're like, can you send a package? But those are funny things to do, like, I think when you're, you know, on vacation. So maybe you'll hit up the Wonder Bread on your next trip.
Adulting is hard, though. I mean, it was one of those things. Everyone has a story, right, about when you moved out, right, or when you moved off to college, and there are those things that you realize maybe you didn't learn by osmosis.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, I should have paid attention to what my mom did in the kitchen a little more closely.
Exactly. It takes us years to figure that out. But here's another question for you.
Okay.
So what's the one thing you need to be an adult? I know. I think a job might be, you know, the right thing to do.
Well, turning 18 years old, that is technically
An adult.
An adult. But you can't vote until you're 21, is that right? I guess it depends on the state. I think there's been some debate about laws, no?
Yeah, a little debate. Debate.
Am I very, very confused? But the thing is, I've met plenty of 40-year-olds who are definitely not adults.
So this first grade teacher, George Poynton, I believe his name is known for his viral tweets. And he asked his students, what was the one thing you need to be an adult? Remember, he's a first grade teacher.
Okay.
And then shared their responses on Twitter. These are so cute. So we have some here, and this is one from Katie about what's the one thing that you need to be an adult. Do the food shopping and not live with your mom.
No, oh, your mom.
Your mom.
Aww.
Isn't that cute?
Cute.
Emma writes in, first grader, never giving up no matter how hard.
That is awesome.
Isn't that sweet? And Mickey, this is my all-time favorite, bigger shoes and socks.
That's all it takes, people.
That is it. I love it. The full article there is on boardpanda.com. I think it's super cute.
Bigger shoes and socks. So I was an adult then in like 8th grade.
I wasn't.
I don't think my feet started or kept growing after 8th grade. You can drink at 21. You can vote at 18.
Yeah,
right?
18. Yeah.
It's a Monday, folks.
You drive at 16, which still, you know.
But isn't that also, like, growing up in Utah, I had cousins in Idaho, and I'm pretty sure they got their licenses at 15. They got, like, a farm license to drive a tractor.
What? But a tractor and a car, or just a tractor?
I don't know. It seems unsafe either way.
It's a large vehicle.
Hey, well, you were reading articles about what makes you an adult. I was reading articles about how to properly blow your nose. You guys interested?
Always. It is, you know, seasonal allergy season. Seasonal allergy season? Seasonal allergy season.
It's a Monday. Don't judge us, okay? So the right way to blow your nose. Is there a right way, first of all?
I mean, I've seen people, like, burst a blood vessel.
You have?
I have.
Ooh, that sounds terrifying.
Very terrifying.
So then their eye was all bloody?
Yes.
Well, that is definitely blowing too hard. And that happens to be one of the most common mistakes people make.
Blowing too hard?
Blowing too hard, because it can cause discomfort in your ears, a bursted blood vessel in your eye, right? Blowing too hard pushes air to your ears.
Oh, yes.
Instead of out your nose and into your tissue. So the experts say...
Tissue.
Tissue, grab a tissue. Using less force is supposed to be just as effective. The full article is on Mental Floss. I'll post it on my KPRC Facebook page as well. Just a nice, like, gentle blow should do the trick.
We are covering some breaking news here.
Well, you know what else? So similar to blowing your nose too hard, you know when people, like, cough too hard or clear their throat?
Yes.
Like if you feel like you have a It's very, very bad. So, folks, this is serious. When I started at Houston Life, and right before you started at Houston Life, I developed a polyp on one of my vocal cords.
Right, I remember.
And They say, I mean, I couldn't speak for a week, right? I wasn't supposed to speak.
After they removed the polyp, right? Then there was
After
no
the surgery, which was very, very difficult. Can you imagine, like, how do you not speak for a week?
Did you have a whiteboard, I hope?
Oh, I had a notebook. I still have it where, like, friends would come over and I'd be like, wow, thanks for the champagne. This is delicious. They would write, I mean, it took
They
forever.
would write back, you could hear.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe they didn't write back. So anyway, my doctor taught me that to clear your throat properly, you shouldn't, you should just make an H sound, like, so if you have a blockage.
So the vocal cords don't bounce.
It protects the vocal cords so you don't develop a polyp like I did.
This is news we can use today.
No clearing the throat,
None.
no blowing too hard. Now that we've covered the nose and the throat, what else we have today on Houston Life?
Well, we've got a lot coming here. So,
Okay.
do you ever do this to someone?
Only when you're telling a story.
Uh-huh. I know. I've seen you do it. Okay, still to come, we're talking crossed arms, the signals your body could be unintentionally sending.
Oh, interesting. Okay, Houston Life will be right back. Don't go away.
I do that.
I do it maybe inadvertently.
What you know about me? Just what the people say.
Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so we are talking right now about crossed arms. I do this a lot. I do, unintentionally. And the question is this gesture, or what you're doing here, is it a sign of rudeness, like standoffishness?
I think, well, based on my experience in life, I think it can be either one, right? Because it's like if you're watching like a hip hop song, you know,
Well,
like
yeah,
the cool
that's-
arm cross.
Right.
But I can think of plenty of times when someone has just like, okay, like, I don't know, just sort of either judging you.
Right.
You wonder if someone has their arms crossed, you wonder what's going through their mind. At least I do.
It's all about body language, right? This is an article on Reader's Digest, and they are breaking down secrets of our body language and what it's revealing about us. According to the article, crossed arms can help someone stick to a difficult task because it works both your left and your right brain. It can also be self-soothing, this gesture to comfort yourself rather than block others out.
Oh.
And the other tidbit from this article is don't automatically consider it a negative sign.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I really think the one person that told me that this is sort of a standoff movement or gesture is joining us now. We have Jan Hartgrave, of course, our body language expert.
Oh my gosh, Jan Hargrave, it has been a while since we've had you on Houston Life. Welcome back. How are you?
It has been a while, yes, but I've been watching your body language every day and grading you secretly, so I understand what's going on behind the scenes. I am thrilled to be with you, and I'm so glad that Reader's Digest did this article because, you know, it is correct that one gesture could have more than one meaning. And we've always been trained, you know, teach people that if your arms are tightly crossed, you know, this tight, it's letting another person know that you're a little bit intimidated right then, that you're not listening, that you're defensive. It is called a self-soothing method of ourselves to calm us down, but it can also have a plus. And the research does say that because when you're doing something by yourself, especially in your office, and you really need to think deeply about a task, it would be okay to cross your arms because, like Courtney said, it employs the right brain, it employs the left brain, so it makes you concentrate a little bit harder. In a business setting, it is still a negative, though. You may want to just sit this way for a minute and then maybe bring your arms around. The only acceptable arm crossing that we allow and teach really in college classes is when hands and fingers are visible. So if you're going to have to cross during a meeting to kind of soothe yourself or bring your mind back to task, make sure that you show one hand or two hands, because if one hand at least is showing, it's more that you are in contemplation and you're thinking about how to answer that question. So you're right, it has two meanings depending on the context of the way that the gesture appears.
This is so interesting, and I love that you talked about the classes because you work with people who want to be better communicators or who are on the verge of sort of a leadership scenario or a stage, and so we don't want to come across doing something that is going to in turn be negative. And that's one thing. I guess I was an arm crosser, and it didn't dawn on me until we talked about it one day. And so I'm so self-aware of it, but it's really interesting how other things that we do. I'm a hand talker as well. I can't stop using my hands, but it's interesting just these little things that we do can be a negative task in a situation.
So you never want to do that when you're being interviewed for a job, because then you would look too standoffish, and also that you can look insecure. But, you know, Courtney, you're so good that when you talk about using your hands, you have to use your hands when you're speaking like this, even whatever way you want to use it, because the fluidity of your hand motions kind of release thoughts in your mind and helps you organize the things that you want to tell others. So you can never just sit there real stiff, because you will not be as creative as you could be. So using the hands, using the arms, I think is a really good thing.
Okay, but general rule of thumb, Jan, just to recap this, in a business setting, you would say try to avoid the arm cross.
Unless you need to get really deep in thought for a few minutes and you want to bring you back to the subject area, and then make sure that you uncross, because the more uncrossed you are, the more open you are looking to the suggestions of the other person. And then two, we have what's called the horizontal planes of gestures. When I gesture at my waist, this is called the truth plane. So if I'm talking with you and I'm gesturing at my waist, you more than likely are going to believe what I'm saying. This area here across my chest is called the passion plane. So if I need to get you excited about something, I'm going to gesture in this area. Maybe even on television, I watch weather people and they do the same thing every day. And so to get audiences excited, they're going to gesture in this area here. So this is the passion plane. This is a truth plane. If you want to be believed, gesture here. Underneath the waist, though, is called the grotesque plane. So you never want to gesture underneath your waist level when you're talking with someone in person. Thank goodness on virtual screens you cannot see that, but they can at least see you from the waist up. So this is passion. When you get excited, you're going to gesture here. When you want to be truthful, you gesture at the waist level.
It's so interesting,
This
right?
is fascinating, Jan. I'm taking notes.
Okay, the other thing, and this is something that I talk to my boys about all the time, and you know I do this, eye contact.
Huge.
I always say, look, boys, you need to look the adults in their eyes when they're talking to you. Make eye contact. That is so important.
Right. Yes, because if you're giving someone good eye contact, they know that you're listening to them. Really good eye contact is a sign of courtesy. It's a sign of respect. Everyone wants to feel as though they have been listened to, and by giving someone good eye contact, you definitely can. So there's 3 percentages I think everyone should remember. 80% eye contact is way too much. 60% eye contact is exactly right, and 40% eye contact during a conversation is very negative. Because if you're just giving someone 40% of eye contact, they feel that they're not being listened to. They're feeling that you're wanting to leave the room, you're wanting to go somewhere. So the 60% is probably the best. And the best way to give someone good eye contact, you know, is to look at them, but you never want to stare at them. You want to look at them, maybe look away, and then come back and look at them. So when we're teaching eye contact to college students who are interviewing, this is what we tell them. You can use the business gaze or the social gaze. And business gaze is that when I'm in a conversation with you, I would look at your left eye, your right eye, then the center of your head, your forehead. So eye, forehead, forehead. If I'm in a social meeting with you, I usually look at you, eye, mouth, eye, mouth. If I'm in love with you, I usually look at you, eye, chest, eye, chest. You never want to look at someone that way when you're being interviewed, but if you're uncomfortable looking them straight in the eyes, just make sure that every now and then your eyes will go up to the center of their forehead, and then it kind of relaxes you with your eye contact with other people.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad I'm taking notes, because I'm going to have trouble keeping that straight. Jan, a couple more points to get through. We got about a minute left. What about standing with hands on hips?
Superman.
Yes, it's really powerful. It's dominant. It's confident. It's called fearless. We have a young lady statue on Wall Street, and she's standing there with her arms wide apart. Anytime you look like you're taking more space when you're in a conversation with an individual, you look like you are more powerful than they are. But you would never want to do this during a job interview, because you never want the interviewer to know or to think that you think that they're better off than you are. Sometimes you just want to put one hand on the hip. It still, again, is kind of a powerful situation. But the elbow sticking out is almost as though you're invading someone's space, and they can be disruptive if you're in a conversation with someone. So it would be probably wise not to stand this way for too long. But I know that mothers stand this way when they want their children to listen to them. And I think it's perfectly okay for mothers to stand this way.
Perfect. I will continue doing it then.
Jan, you always have the best tips. And I think, again, just a quick recap, one type of body language could have 2 different meanings. And if you're ever negotiating, you want to either sit or stand at the same level with your negotiating partner. It's a great tip.
Right. Yes, it is. So if you follow those body language sequences, we call them good, the bad, not the ugly, but the good and the bad, and maybe sometimes just kind of indifferent. It depends on what is the context, what is the setting, and where am I using this gesture, and what impact will it have on the other person, because they can get an impression of whether they like you or dislike you by some of the body language gestures that you are displaying.
Well, we love you, Jan Hardgrave, and all of your tips on body language. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thank you.
Pretty in pink as always. I know. Don't stand like that. To connect with Jan and for more information, head over to HoustonLife.tv. A great conversation.
Yeah, and as always, we do want to hear from you. What does your body language say about you? Head over to our Houston Life Facebook page and join the conversation. Very curious about those responses.
And still to come, what it's like to work with your spouse. We're catching up with a husband and wife duo making Americana music together.
And celebrities are being put in a hot seat by aliens. A look at the new late night family show that's coming to a popular streaming service. Don't go away. Well, families have cherished their memories of Jim Henson's The Muppets and Sesame Street for decades now. And now Jim Henson's creative baton has been passed to his son, Brian Henson.
He's created a new show called Earth to Ned, where aliens have been sent to destroy Earth but fall in love with television. Joe Sam caught up with Brian and the show's co-host to learn more about the late night hit that's truly out of this world.
I didn't know you before today, but I'm a big fan now.
Soon the whole world will know, right, Cornelius?
Whether they like it or not.
It's just...
Brian and Cornelius, it's so good to have you both with us to talk about this amazing show, Earth to Ned.
Hey, hi. Hi.
Now, Brian, you're carrying on your dad, Jim Henson's work 60 years later. Let's talk about how this family legacy started.
He started his first TV show, he put on air when he was 18. So he was very, very driven. And at 18 years old, he had a live TV show every night, and he was also in college. So he'd go to college during the day, and then in the evening, he had a live broadcast every night. And he was just a very driven guy.
Throw up every day.
Okay, Cornelius, again, my show.
Right. Cornelius, your work in the show is awesome because you get to stay out of trouble and let Ned do all the dirty work, right?
Earth to Ned is a great show. I love being on it. I get to be the sidekick. So I get to kind of sit by the side and kind of get my little quips in every once in a while, but all the pressure's off me because Ned's the host and I'm just the sidekick. It's a great gig, man.
Okay, so what do celebrities that you bring onto the show think about it? I'm sure it's a little different from them being interviewed by aliens.
The interviews, in the end, turn out to be really quite intimate, and the celebrities really sort of open up because it's just such a different and interesting tone.
And they usually forgive us for abducting them and beaming them onto our ship against their will to be our guests.
Yeah, that's true. They don't book their guests. They just beam them in.
Yeah.
And Brian, this is not just a show for kids, but the whole family will get a good laugh from Earth to Ned.
We try to do just a really fun, uplifting show, and you're exactly right in the way you described it. The show is written on an adult level, just like any late night talk show, but it's safe for kids.
Yeah.
But also, because Ned so misunderstands mankind, it's very funny in a way that kids also really appreciate. So it really does work well for audiences of all ages.
Yeah, and we squeeze in a lot of dad jokes for the old timers too.
Well, thank you both for our little chat today, and we can't wait to see more of the show season after season.
Thanks, Joe. That was fun.
We like some dad jokes as well. And you can catch all 20 episodes of Earth to Ned streaming right now on Disney+. And we will have more information on our website, HoustonLife.tv.
And switching gears now, Lauren Kelly is standing by with details on a beauty service that comes to you. Sign me up, girl.
Me too, Courtney. Still ahead, the owner and stylist behind Salon 84 is taking us inside her very creative mobile hair salon bus. And we're going to check of what's coming up for the news at 4 o'clock. Houston Life is back in just 2 minutes. Well, when hairstylist Adrienne Jones needed to keep her hairstyling business going throughout the pandemic, she had to get creative. The owner behind Salon 84 and resident stylist for the Houston Texans cheerleaders spent most of quarantine gutting out and transforming a bus into a modern chic hair salon. Adrienne took us inside Bertha for a look at her adorable mobile salon. You know, during the pandemic, a lot of people got really bored. They also wanted to get creative. And now I want to introduce you to Salon 84. This is Bertha, a brainchild of Adrian, who I'm going to take you inside and show you all about what this bus does. Let's go. Oh, wow. This is Bertha. Adrian.
Welcome to Salon 84.
I love it. I love the whole idea. It's a mobile salon. Tell us how you got started.
Well, during the pandemic, I was at home and needed to figure out how I can still service my clients, keeping them safe and giving them exclusive service, one-on-one service. So came up with this bus idea.
So you are a hairstylist.
I am. I've been a stylist for 17 years.
Okay, so let's talk about the services that you offer on board.
Yes, it's a full service salon. So there's haircutting, coloring, highlights, balayage, extensions.
Dang, girl, this is really all in one.
It's all in one-stop shop, and I come to you wherever you are, whether you're at work, at happy hour, a bridal, bridal party, pretty much anywhere. I can show up, roll up, come out, hop on the bus, get your hair done.
Show up, roll up, come out, get your hair done. I'm gonna have her come by the KPRC2 building more often than not.
Yes.
All right, so I also love the fact that you can wash hair inside of here.
Yes.
You really can just relax while you're getting your hair done. Is it just one client at a time that you do?
Yes.
So does that personal feel, and how do people make appointments?
They can go to www.salon84.com and you can book your experience on the website.
And this is really cool. You do a lot of the Texans cheerleaders' hair.
Yes, I'm their resident hairstylist.
All right, so she knows what she is doing, that's for sure.
Yes.
I love this. I love the name Bertha. How did you come up with Bertha?
It just happened one day. She's a big girl, so I call her Big Bertha.
Of course. Here's my other question. Did you have to get like a CDL truck driving license?
No, I actually didn't because there are no passengers on here. While the bus is in motion, I'm the only passenger on the bus. So because of that, I don't have to have a special licensing for it, and because of the length of the bus. So it works out perfect.
You probably love being that high above the ground though, right? Like,
I do.
Me, Bertha's coming through.
Yeah.
Well, Adrian, thank you so much. I love the business. I think Salon 84 is a great idea, and we continue. Much success to you. HoustonLife.tv for more information and how you can get a hold of Adrian here at Salon 84. Hey. Such a great idea, and we love supporting her small, female-owned Black business. Again, to get a hold of Adrian and all the services that Salon 84 offers, just log on to HoustonLife.tv. She books up pretty quick, so I need to make sure that she comes back here to the KPRC building, Courtney, and then you and I and all the girls up in the Houston Life studios will come down. And
sign me up. I'm there whenever Big Bertha rolls up.
Yeah,
What about me?
you can come too.
I can use a haircut.
For sure.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. We didn't mean to leave you out, Boo.
No.
We're sorry.
A party on the bus, for sure.
Such a great story. Thanks, Lauren.
Sure.
That was To My Rescue, a song by My One and Only, a Nashville-based Americana duo known for their mix of raw acoustic music with heartfelt lyrics.
Formed by Ben and Cassie Wilson, this husband and wife team, they're joining us now about working and touring together, which, by the way, you guys are touring our Houston area. Welcome to Houston Life. It's great to see you both.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank
Glad to be
you.
here.
Absolutely. Okay, first question. I'm sure you get this a lot. You know, my husband and I working together during the pandemic, sometimes were good days, sometimes, I don't know, they were okay days. But what's it like, husband and wife, working right next to each other, touring all the time?
Well, as you can see behind us, we're in our tour van that we tour in when we're out on the road. So it's a pretty small space for us two people. But, you know, I think that makes our marriage and our relationship even stronger.
Yep.
Well, that's incredible, and it looks like a pretty slick tour van there. 12 years married. You celebrated your anniversary just a couple days ago. Tell us how you met and how the music thing happened, because I understand the duo, My One and Only, became official back in 2017. Is that right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So we met almost 14 years ago in a small startup church that was actually meeting in the cafeteria of a school. And I was just visiting the church, and Ben was playing in the praise and worship. And I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And so I I knew I was going to marry him. So anyways, we've been married for 12 years, and it's crazy because we've only been officially a duo for like 5 years. We both were solo artists before. And then somebody was like, what are y'all doing? Why are you not a duo? And we were like, why are we not a duo? So now we are. But we've always played music together and sang with each other. But now we officially are my one and only.
I think it's so great. And I love the sort of love at first sight story as well. I think it's so inspirational. Let's talk about your music, because I know it took some time for you guys to come together as the duo. But I love your kind of eclectic sound that you have. You guys say it's kind of a mix of Southern soul and a heap of curious grit. Explain that.
Yeah, I had to put the little bit of Southern language in there. I'm actually from, I grew up and was raised in Iowa. And so when I moved down south, the Southern sayings and the Southern style of music, I really began to love. And so mixing our two styles together was not the easiest thing at first, and we kind of had this hump to go over. But I think, you know, throughout the years, we created something pretty unique.
Yeah, we have our own sound.
Yeah.
You certainly do, and a great look, a great vibe. Before we get to some of the stops that you're going to make on this Texas tour, you guys have done several mission trips to Rwanda and Uganda in Africa.
Yeah. So Cassie and I, we've been to Rwanda, Africa 7 times. Cassie had gone there first, and we first started going on missions trips. And then we started leading trips through an organization. And the last couple times we just went on our own without an organization. We have a lot of friends over there, and we can get around. We know the country really well. And we sponsor, I think you're seeing the picture of it now, we sponsor a little girl named Kavine. She's about 14 or 15 years old now, as well as another child in Uganda. And the last couple times we've been able to incorporate music in the form of youth conferences in these smaller northern towns in Uganda. And so that's been an amazing experience. And that was working with an organization called Benjamin House Ministries.
Well, that is fantastic. Ben and Cassie, stay right there, because after the break, we do have a performance from your duo, My One and Only, and details on where you can catch them live in Houston. So stay right there.
And you look older.
Before the break, we heard from Ben and Cassie Wilson, and now it's time to hear them.
Yes, that is right. This is their song, When I Get to Heaven. Let's listen to My One and Only.
When I get to heaven, I'm gonna climb the tallest tree. Gonna stand upon the clouds just so I can see. Gonna lay my head down right on top of your chest. I'm gonna sleep for 5 days straight. I won't be worried for nothing else. When I get to heaven, when I see the light, I know it's time for leaving. I'm divorcing this life. I'll be filing all the papers. table and fill it up on love. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Hey.
That was beautiful, and I'm so glad that you guys did that on the porch, because I want to hear you on the porch from now on.
I know, lucky neighbors, right? Your neighbors treated to a free concert.
They were looking, yeah.
That is
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Well, for those of us and the viewers that want to see you guys performing live in the Houston area, you guys tell us about your upcoming shows.
July 10, we're at Murdoch's in Cyprus. And July 14 and 15, we're really looking forward to opening up. We've opened up before at Main Street Crossing in Tabal.
Yeah, we love Corey.
And your audio dropped out a bit, but that's country artist Corey Morrow. So fantastic show ahead. We're sure of it. In the meantime, before we let you go, I know you're joining us live from your tour van. How does that all work? Like, you stop and eat at restaurants? What's the bathroom situation? I'm just very curious.
Yeah, so go ahead, Ben.
So the more we started touring, I did all of the work on this cargo van and put it into a tour van. And I'll just give you a quick run around here. It's a little bit messy, but
We didn't clean the house, sorry.
that's what's going
I
on.
didn't know you were going to have house guests, huh?
Sorry.
We got sink water over here. We got it going on. We got a cooler.
Look, this is like Salon 84. Look, we both have
Yes.
greenery in our...
Yeah.
I love it, guys. It is awesome.
Yeah, it works out for us.
It is great. Well, we hope you get some good barbecue and Tex-Mex while you're in town. Houstonians are sure to enjoy your show, and thanks so much for performing for us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Glad to be
having
here.
us.
Ben and Cassie Wilson, also known as My One and Only. We have shared a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that Scene on Houston Life section if you would like to connect with the band.
I'm so glad they're a duo. They're
Yeah,
fantastic together.
perfect.
We'll be right back with more Houston Life.
Coming up tomorrow on Houston Life, it is HL Obsessions Day. Courtney and I will be sharing our favorite local products along with promo codes to help you save.
I feel like I need an Oprah voice for you. Obsessions! Okay, and we're also celebrating National Fried Chicken Day with Taste Bar and their elevated chicken and waffles. Yes to all of it for tomorrow's show.
All right, we'll see you then.